Today I would like to introduce Erik. Erik's going to be completing his 4th project to complete the requirement for his Advanced Communicator Silver. Now, I apologize, allow me to take just a brief moment and explain what's going on here. So in Toastmasters, there's actually 2 parallel paths. One, of course, is I would like to become a better public speaker. And we do a series of speeches that allows us to develop speaking skills. Fabulous. There's another path, another parallel path, which is what we call a leadership path. We've got a club. Our club has meetings. Our club has people who come together, and we try to accomplish things as a club, but we can only do that if we have leaders to lead the club. So Toastmaster has a whole nother path, which is our leadership path. And Erik today is going to be giving us a speech that is part of his Advanced Communicator Silver path on that one. Today's theme for his speech comes from the manual. Is this a regular speech? Oh, damn. So everything I just said is really important. You should remember it. Forget it, though. Anyway, today's, for Erik's speech, today's theme comes from the manual storytelling assignment. Quote, the touching story, unquote. Really? That's what it's called? That's really? Wow. Hey, quick question. Everybody 18? Everybody? Okay, everybody's 18. Okay, that's all that we can say. Please welcome Erik as he presents The Last Days of Corky.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. Has anyone here ever lost a beloved pet? Well, today I'm going to share the story of the last days of Corky, my first dog. Now, I could easily say that Corky was my wife's first love because she got him in 2003, and we hadn't started dating until 2009. So he had her for 6 years before I. And in fact, getting him to like me, here's a picture of him.
Aww.
Getting him to like me was sort of a prerequisite for us to continue our relationship. You know, she didn't want to date a man that was not kind to animals. So he tolerated me at first. He barked at me the first time. And usually would growl a little bit when I first came into the room. The next couple times. But it wasn't until she went to a funeral in North Carolina for her grandfather and she left him to stay with me. That's when we really bonded. Now, fast forward a little bit, a couple months before we were to get married, we're already engaged and stuff, we decided to start living together. And that is when we became best friends. I was in charge of his, here's a picture of his best friend.
Aww.
I was in charge of his walks. I was in charge of feeding him his food, which his favorite meal was chicken. And I also gave him his favorite treat, which was his favorite thing in the world. And if you believe this, his favorite treat was white American cheese slices. You know, the ones that are wrapped in plastic wrap and come in a stack? I love that stuff. He would dance around in circles when it was time to get his cheese. He was ecstatic. Here's a picture of him. Maybe you'll walk with me. So that continued on for 6 years. We had a happy life together, the 3 of us. And then one day we noticed a little bump on his jawline, about the size of a bean. And we took him to the vet to be looked at. And unfortunately, the vet we took him to gave him the wrong diagnosis. They said, you know, we should just do a deep, he has infection in his mouth, we need to do a deep teeth cleaning. It's going to cost upwards of $700. And we said, no, I really doubt that that's a problem. Let's get out of here. We didn't go through with that, and we didn't ever go back to that veterinarian again. So in the meantime, we're deciding what to do next. The growth on his mouth continued to grow. Here's the picture of him. Look, another one of the things I like to do is look out the window and bark at people. Anyway, so we took him to another vet, and they did a biopsy. And our worst fears were realized when they told us that it was cancer and that we should take him to see a cancer specialist. And that's what we did next. We took him to the specialist. After a thorough inspection there, the next stage of our worst fears were realized when they told us that he had a form of cancer on his jawline that was very malignant, it was very aggressive, and he probably had 1 month to live. So I can tell you that he did not live 1 month. He actually lived 3 additional months with that tumor on his face. And all the while it was growing bigger and bigger. You can see a picture of him right now. This is when his mouth began to become somewhat distorted. He had this tumor and it would bleed a lot. It got to the point where he was unable to eat because the tumor was just too large for him to reach into his bowl and pick up the food. So I was hand feeding him. But he was still, you know, if you know dogs, they don't complain. They go with the flow. So that continued for a little while longer, but when it got to the point where he didn't want to go for his walks anymore, he didn't want to even eat anymore, we decided that, this is probably it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make the decision to put him down. So here's kind of a picture, one of the latest pictures of him. You can see the tumor. He couldn't shut his mouth anymore, so it was pretty bad. So on that day, it was December 12th, 2015, I'll never forget it. It was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. We went into the veterinarian, and they injected him 1 dose of euthanasia, and nothing happened.
Oh, no.
The doctor told us dogs with this type of cancer, their adrenaline increases, and it doesn't always work on them in the first dose, so they gave him the second dose. And that didn't work either. So we were there for at least an hour. This was drawn out, longer than it should have been. We got to the point where we basically laid him down on the table, put a little gas mask over his snout, and watched him breathe his last with his eyes open. It was just a terrible experience, and I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. But if you could take away one thing away from my presentation today, it would be, if you see something wrong with your pet, go get it checked out. And if you don't like the diagnosis you have received, go get a second opinion. Don't delay, because I can't tell you that I could have done anything to save his life, but I can't help but think about maybe there's something I could have done, and he would still be with us. So we've since replaced him. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say replace him because nothing will replace him. He's, the immutable fact is that he was my first dog, and nothing will ever change that. But I will just say this, unfortunately, all of us have to go at one time. I just wanted to share that one experience with you about me and my first dog. Thank you.
Excellent job, Eric. Eric, would it be correct to assume